Henry in a hurry. Henry is a big green engine who always likes to get the job done on time. Sometimes Henry is in a hurry where he can sometimes be impatient. And sometimes he makes the other engines cross. One day, Henry was resting in a siding when Sir Topham Hatt arrived on board Percy. "Wake up, Henry. You have jobs to do." Henry was still sleeping. Percy whistled. "Wake up, Henry," said Percy. "Oh, hello, Percy," yawned Henry. "Henry, you have passengers to take," said Sir Topham Hatt. "Don't be late, because all you've been doing here all day is just taking a nap. You must hurry." Henry was surprised. "Bust my buffer," said Henry. "I must go right away," and Henry rushed away. Henry was in such a hurry that he gave the coaches an extra hard shunt. The coaches rolled back and bumped into Diesel. Diesel was surprised, and then he was cross. "Watch where you're going, Stinky Stevie," said Diesel. "Sorry," said Henry sadly. Then Henry was coupled up to the coaches and then he rushed away. Henry rushed along the countryside. Then there was trouble. Bill and Ben were coming. Henry whistled. "Out of my way," he said. Then there was trouble. Bill and Ben got so frightened of Henry's whistle that they both biffed into a buffer, and then they both came right off the tracks. "Oh no," said Ben. "What do we do?" "I don't know," said Bill. "We're off the rails." But Henry didn't know. He was too busy going somewhere in a hurry. Henry hurried everywhere. At last, he reached the station. The passengers got on board and Henry hurried away. The coaches rattled and shook. Then there was trouble. Thomas went to go back up into the paint freight cars. Henry whistled crossly. "Out of my way," said Henry. "I'm in a hurry." Thomas got so frightened that he biffed the cars, and the paint went everywhere. Thomas was covered in paint. He was cross. "Next time learn patience," he said crossly. But Henry still didn't notice. He was busy rushing to drop off the passengers. At last, Henry arrived at Main Fleet to drop the passengers off. Sir Topham Hatt was there, and he was cross. "Henry," he said, "you have caused confusion and delay. You have made Bill and Ben biff the buffers and come right off the tracks, and you frightened Thomas so much that he backed into a paint freight car, and now he's covered in paint. You must put right everything," he said. Henry felt terrible. "I'm sorry, sir. I was just in a hurry. Please, sir, can I please maybe do some of Thomas's loads and then maybe I can be a really useful engine?" Sir Topham Hatt wasn't sure. "Only if you take your time," he said. Henry smiled. "Thank you, sir," said Henry. Then he hopped happily away. First, Henry arrived to get Bill and Ben back on the tracks. Bill and Ben were arguing. "This is your fault, Bill," said Ben crossly. "You're the one who pushed me right off the tracks." "No, Ben," said Bill. "It's your fault. You're the one who pulled me off the tracks." "Did not," said Ben. "Did so," said Bill. "Yes, you did." "No, I didn't." "Okay, enough arguing," said Henry. "I'm here to pull both of you back on the rails." Then Henry pulled Bill back on the tracks. Then he pulled Ben back on the tracks. "Thank you, Henry," said Ben. "Yes, thanks, Henry," said Bill. "My pleasure," said Henry, "and I'm sorry I made you to derail. I was in a hurry." It's all right, said Ben. And Bill, I'm sorry I blamed you. No, said Bill. I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. No, I'm sorry. Now, said Henry. Enough arguing. Just be glad you're both back on the tracks. And they were. We're both sorry, said Bill and Ben together. Then Henry huffed up to Thomas. I'm very sorry, Thomas, said Henry. I didn't mean to make you biff into the paint. You can go to the washdown and I can take the new fresh paint for you. Thomas was happy. Thank you, Henry, he said. And then Thomas went straight to the washdown. Then Henry buffered up into the paint freight cars. And then he huffed happily away. Henry was pleased. He decided to take his time and not rush. On his way to the repair yard, Henry saw Thomas. Thank you, Henry, said Thomas. No problem, Thomas, said Henry. I'm delivering this for you. And then Henry huffed happily away. Henry arrived at the repair yard with the paint, where Sir Topham Hatt was waiting. Well done, Henry, said Sir Topham Hatt. You brought the paint here to the repair yard on time without rushing. You are a really useful engine. Thank you, sir, said Henry.